At 60 and beyond, many people face the heavy burden of diabetes, feeling like their health is slipping through their fingers despite all their efforts. But what if reversing diabetes didn't have to be complicated or overwhelming? What if the key to better health was hidden in simple, daily habits that anyone could adopt without drastic changes or expensive treatments? This is exactly the story of a nurse who, after years of managing her diabetes with medications, discovered 7 easy but powerful habits that changed her life completely. These small, consistent actions helped her not only stabilize her blood sugar, but actually reverse the condition, allowing her to enjoy more energy, clearer thinking, and precious moments with her family again. This message is especially meaningful for those 60 years and older who often feel caught in a cycle of decline and frustration. The truth is, it's never too late to take back control, and small steps can lead to big changes. Before we dive deeper, please keep in mind that the information shared here is for educational purposes only. It is essential to consult your personal healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine to ensure what works best for you. Also, I would love to hear from you. Let me know where you're watching from and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Your experience matters, and together we can learn and grow. Now, let's explore these simple yet life-changing habits that have helped so many reclaim their health after 60. Habit 1. Balanced, low-glycemic meals to control blood sugar. Eating well after 60 is one of the most powerful tools anyone has to manage or even reverse diabetes, yet often feels complicated or restrictive. But it doesn't have to be that way. The first habit this nurse embraced was shifting to balanced meals focused on low-glycemic foods, those that don't cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. This simple change transformed her health and energy levels over time, and it can do the same for many seniors in America. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down, and the body becomes less efficient at processing sugars and starches. That's why choosing foods that release energy slowly and steadily helps keep blood sugar stable. Instead of quick highs followed by crashes, a low-glycemic diet promotes consistent energy and better overall health. For older adults, this means focusing on whole grains like quinoa or barley instead of white bread or pasta, and including plenty of colorful vegetables, legumes, nuts, and lean proteins. These foods provide essential nutrients without overwhelming the pancreas with sugar. For example, a typical American senior might enjoy a breakfast of oatmeal topped with fresh berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon, a delicious meal that supports blood sugar control. For lunch or dinner, think grilled chicken with steamed broccoli and a small serving of brown rice or sweet potato. These balanced plates are satisfying, simple to prepare, and fit well into everyday life. Portion control is just as important as food choices. Overeating, even healthy foods, can still lead to blood sugar spikes. The nurse found success by listening carefully to her body's hunger and fullness cues, something many older adults can benefit from practicing gently. She suggests eating slowly and stopping when comfortably satisfied rather than overly full. Many people over 60 find that spacing meals evenly through the day prevents long periods of fasting, which can sometimes cause blood sugar dips and subsequent overeating. Alongside choosing low-glycemic foods, limiting processed snacks and sugary treats is vital. The nurse recalls her early days of managing diabetes when candy bars and sweetened sodas were part of her routine, common habits in many American households. Replacing those with fresh fruit, nuts, or a small piece of dark chocolate helped reduce cravings and improve her blood sugar. It's important to be kind to yourself during this process. Change doesn't happen overnight. This nurse emphasizes that flexibility is key, especially during family gatherings or holidays, which are important moments to share joy and connection. Planning ahead and making healthier choices while still enjoying special treats in moderation can keep both health and happiness balanced. She also recommends working with a dietitian or diabetes educator who understands the challenges seniors face and can tailor advice to personal tastes and lifestyles. For many older adults, cooking can become less appealing due to fatigue or mobility issues, so simple, nutritious meals like salads with canned beans or roasted vegetables with a protein source can be lifesavers. Beyond food, hydration plays a subtle role in how well the body processes sugars, but that's a topic we'll explore next. What matters most is that adopting a balanced, low-glycemic meal habit is both doable and sustainable for people over 60, helping to create steady blood sugar levels that make a real difference in daily well-being. This habit isn't about perfection, but progress, offering a practical and gentle path toward reversing diabetes symptoms and regaining vitality. Many seniors in the U.S. have found that once they start seeing improvements, the motivation to keep going grows naturally, reinforcing healthier choices day by day. The story of this nurse's transformation reminds us all that it's never too late to nourish the body with kindness and intention. With simple swaps, portion awareness, and a focus on real, wholesome foods, older adults can take control of their diabetes and enjoy the benefits of better health and more quality time with loved ones. Habit 2. Regular, gentle physical activity. For many people over 60 living with diabetes, the idea of exercise might feel daunting or even impossible due to aches, joint issues, or chronic fatigue. But the second habit that transformed the nurse's health was discovering the power of gentle, consistent physical activity designed specifically for seniors. This habit didn't require marathon training or intense gym sessions. Instead, it's centered around moving the body daily in ways that felt manageable and enjoyable, proving that movement is medicine at any age. Our bodies are made to move, and even moderate activity helps regulate blood sugar by improving insulin sensitivity, meaning the body uses sugar more efficiently. As we grow older, muscle mass naturally decreases, which can worsen insulin resistance. But regular, gentle movement can preserve muscle, boost metabolism, and help stabilize blood sugar levels. The nurse started simply by walking around her neighborhood every morning, sometimes just for 10 or 15 minutes. She noticed that even this small amount of exercise helped her feel more energized and less stiff throughout the day. Gradually, she increased her walking time and incorporated gentle stretching to improve flexibility. For many seniors in the U.S., daily walking is a favorite and accessible way to stay active. Parks, community centers, or even indoor mall walking clubs offer safe, social environments to encourage movement. Beyond walking, chair exercises, light resistance training with bands, or water aerobics can be excellent choices for those with joint pain or limited mobility. These activities put less stress on the body while still delivering meaningful benefits for blood sugar control and cardiovascular health. Consistency is the key message here, not intensity. The nurse emphasizes that it's far better to do gentle exercises every day than to push too hard and risk injury or burnout. Many older adults find that setting a daily routine, such as walking after breakfast or doing light stretches before bed, creates a comforting rhythm and increases the likelihood of sticking with it. The social aspect of movement shouldn't be overlooked either. Joining a walking group or exercising with a friend provides motivation, accountability, and companionship, which can lift spirits and make exercise feel less like a chore. The nurse's story includes moments when she felt discouraged, but having a support system kept her going. This connection is especially important because managing diabetes can sometimes feel isolating, but shared activity reminds us we are not alone. Moreover, physical activity improves sleep quality and mood, both of which have positive effects on blood sugar regulation. Studies among older Americans show that those who stay active often report better mental clarity and lower stress levels. The nurse personally experienced this, noticing how her daily walks helped reduce anxiety and improve focus, making it easier to make other healthy choices. Importantly, starting slowly and listening to the body's signals helps prevent injuries or setbacks. The nurse recommends consulting with a healthcare provider or physical therapist to design an exercise plan that fits personal health conditions and goals. Adaptations might include seated exercises or balance training to reduce fall risk, which is a common concern for seniors. For those who face mobility challenges, even simple activities like gardening, light household chores, or gentle yoga can count as meaningful movement. The main takeaway is that physical activity tailored to one's abilities is not only possible, but essential for managing diabetes after 60. It empowers individuals to take charge of their health, regain strength, and enjoy more active days with family and friends. In the nurse's experience, and many like hers, this habit provided more than just blood sugar control. It restored confidence and a sense of independence. For older adults watching, remember that every step matters, no matter how small. Moving your body regularly can be a joyful practice of self-care, a chance to connect with the world, and a proven way to reverse the impacts of diabetes over time. The journey may start with a few gentle steps, but can lead to lasting freedom and vitality well into the golden years. Habit 3. Staying hydrated with smart beverage choices. Hydration might seem like a simple thing, but for seniors managing diabetes, it plays a surprisingly important role in blood sugar control and overall health. The third habit this nurse embraced was drinking the right fluids throughout the day, making hydration a gentle, nourishing routine rather than a chore. Many older adults don't realize that as we age, our sense of thirst diminishes, which can lead to dehydration without obvious signs. Dehydration affects blood sugar by concentrating glucose in the bloodstream, making it harder for the body to keep levels balanced. The nurse found that paying attention to her hydration made a clear difference in her energy and how stable her blood sugar felt throughout the day. In America, it's common to reach for coffee, soda, or sugary juices, but these drinks can actually worsen blood sugar spikes and leave the body craving more sugar later. Instead, the nurse recommends water as the foundation of hydration. Plain water helps flush out excess sugar through the kidneys and supports all the body systems. To make water more appealing, she suggests adding natural flavor boosters like slices of lemon, cucumber, or fresh mint leaves. These simple additions turn hydration into a pleasant, refreshing experience without added sugars or calories. Her routine also includes herbal teas, chamomile, peppermint, or hibiscus, which are naturally caffeine-free and often packed with antioxidants that support heart health, something especially important for seniors with diabetes. Herbal teas warm the body and provide comfort, making hydration feel like a moment of self-care rather than just a necessity. The nurse cautions against overconsumption of caffeinated drinks because they can dehydrate the body if not balanced with enough water. Another helpful tip she shares is keeping a water bottle handy throughout the day. This easy habit encourages sipping regularly rather than waiting until feeling thirsty, which can be too late for older adults. Setting reminders on a phone or watch can also be useful, especially for those who get absorbed in their daily activities and forget to drink. Some seniors worry about frequent bathroom trips, especially at night, which can disrupt sleep. The nurse advises balancing fluid intake by drinking more in the morning and afternoon, then tapering off in the evening to minimize nighttime interruptions. This strategy helps maintain hydration without interfering with rest. Beyond water and herbal teas, she points out the importance of avoiding sugary drinks like soda and fruit juices. These beverages cause rapid blood sugar spikes and add unnecessary calories. Many older adults grew up in an era where soda was a staple at family gatherings or holidays, but switching to healthier drinks can make a huge difference in managing diabetes. Even diet sodas with artificial sweeteners are discouraged because some studies suggest they may affect insulin response negatively over time. The nurse also found that eating water-rich foods, such as cucumbers, watermelon, oranges, and leafy greens, helps keep hydration levels steady while providing vitamins and minerals. These foods are especially helpful for seniors who struggle with drinking enough liquids or have reduced appetite. She emphasizes the importance of listening to the body's subtle cues. Sometimes fatigue, headaches, or dizziness in seniors with diabetes may stem from mild dehydration. By making hydration a simple daily goal, many experience clearer thinking, more stable moods, and improved digestion. Hydration ties directly into overall diabetes management because the kidneys work harder to remove excess sugar from the blood. Keeping hydrated eases this process, supporting kidney health, a vital consideration as kidney function can decline with age. The nurse, after adjusting her hydration habits, noticed fewer dizzy spells and more consistent energy levels, improvements she encourages others to seek as well. In the wider American senior community, health programs often stress hydration, but it's the gentle, consistent approach that makes it sustainable. Drinking fluids doesn't need to be overwhelming or unpleasant. The nurse's story reminds us that even small, mindful choices like reaching for a glass of water instead of soda can add up to significant health benefits over time. Finally, she suggests involving family members in hydration habits. Grandchildren, partners, or caregivers can remind and encourage seniors to drink regularly, making hydration a shared, caring effort. This connection not only supports physical health but strengthens bonds, giving older adults a sense of being loved and supported. To sum up, staying hydrated with smart beverage choices is a quiet but powerful habit for anyone over 60 managing diabetes. It supports blood sugar control, kidney function, energy, and mental clarity. It's an easy, affordable habit that brings daily comfort and helps reverse diabetes' grip. By making water and herbal teas the stars of the day and avoiding sugary drinks, older adults can nourish their bodies gently and effectively. This habit, though simple, is a cornerstone of the nurse's journey to better health, and it can be yours too. Habit 4. Prioritizing quality sleep to support blood sugar balance. Good sleep is often overlooked, yet it is one of the most important habits for seniors managing diabetes. The nurse in our story discovered that improving her sleep quality became a turning point in stabilizing her blood sugar and enhancing her overall well-being. As we age, sleep patterns tend to change. Nights may become shorter, more restless, and less restorative. For older adults, this can worsen insulin resistance and increase blood sugar levels, making diabetes harder to control. That's why prioritizing restful sleep is crucial for anyone over 60 who wants to reverse or manage their diabetes effectively. The nurse found that adopting a consistent sleep schedule helped regulate her body's internal clock. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, even on weekends, supported better hormone balance and improved insulin sensitivity. For many seniors in the U.S., irregular sleep patterns are common due to retirement lifestyle changes or health conditions, but a steady routine can make a profound difference. She also learned to create a relaxing bedtime ritual, like reading a book or listening to calm music, which signaled her body it was time to wind down and helped ease the transition to sleep. Another important factor was optimizing her sleep environment. She kept her bedroom cool, dark, and quiet, which are key ingredients for deep, uninterrupted rest. Many older adults experience difficulty sleeping due to noise or light disturbances, and simple changes like blackout curtains or white noise machines can dramatically improve sleep quality. Avoiding screens at least an hour before bed was also a crucial habit she adopted. The blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and TVs can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that regulates sleep. Instead, she chose calming activities that promoted relaxation without stimulation. The nurse also noticed the impact of food and drink timing on her sleep. Eating heavy meals or consuming caffeine too late in the day disrupted her ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. She shifted her largest meal earlier in the evening and limited caffeine to the morning hours. These adjustments prevented blood sugar spikes during the night and helped her body rest more deeply. For older adults, this habit can be a game changer since poor sleep often triggers sugar cravings and worsens insulin resistance, creating a frustrating cycle. Stress management was another part of her sleep improvement. Chronic stress raises cortisol, a hormone that raises blood sugar and interferes with restful sleep. The nurse incorporated gentle breathing exercises and mindfulness meditation into her evening routine, helping to calm her mind and body. These practices can be especially beneficial for seniors who may face stress from health worries, loneliness, or changes in life circumstances. She found that even a few minutes of focused breathing before bed lowered her heart rate and eased anxiety, making it easier to drift into peaceful sleep. For some seniors, medical conditions such as sleep apnea can significantly affect sleep quality and blood sugar control. The nurse encourages anyone experiencing loud snoring, frequent waking, or daytime fatigue to discuss these symptoms with their healthcare provider. Treatments for sleep apnea and other disorders can greatly improve both sleep and diabetes outcomes. In the broader American community, awareness of the connection between sleep and diabetes is growing, but remains underappreciated in many households. The nurse's personal journey highlights how simple sleep-focused habits, consistent timing, calming routines, optimized environment, mindful eating, and stress reduction can collectively turn sleep from a challenge into a powerful ally in diabetes management. She reminds seniors that improving sleep is a process, not a quick fix. Changes may take time to show results, but the benefits go far beyond blood sugar control. Better sleep improves mood, sharpens memory, strengthens immune function, and supports heart health, all crucial for thriving in later years. Families play an important role, too. Loved ones can help create a peaceful environment, encourage healthy routines, and provide emotional support, making the journey to better sleep feel less lonely and more hopeful. The nurse's story is a testament to how such support, combined with simple, mindful habits, restored her nights and brightened her days. In conclusion, prioritizing quality sleep is a vital habit for seniors managing diabetes. It helps balance blood sugar, reduces stress, and rejuvenates body and mind. By embracing consistent sleep routines, creating a soothing environment, and addressing underlying issues, older adults can unlock better health and vitality. This habit, though subtle, is a cornerstone of the nurse's success and can be yours as well, opening the door to brighter, healthier days ahead. Habit 5. Mindful eating. Simple dietary changes that make a big difference. For many seniors living with diabetes, food is more than just fuel. It's comfort, tradition, and connection to family. Yet, the nurse discovered that making mindful, simple changes to her eating habits played a vital role in reversing her diabetes and regaining her health. Mindful eating means paying close attention to what, when, and how much one eats without harsh restrictions or guilt. This approach, especially for people over 60, can create lasting improvements in blood sugar control while still honoring the joy of food and family gatherings. The nurse began by understanding the impact of carbohydrates on her blood sugar. Carbs, especially refined ones like white bread, sugary snacks, and processed cereals, cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. Instead of cutting carbs completely, she learned to choose whole, unprocessed versions, whole grains, legumes, and plenty of vegetables. These foods digest more slowly, preventing sharp blood sugar rises and keeping her energy steady throughout the day. For many American seniors, familiar dishes can be adapted to include healthier carb sources without losing flavor or satisfaction. For example, swapping white rice for brown rice or quinoa, or choosing whole wheat bread instead of white bread, can make a significant difference. The nurse also embraced portion control as a cornerstone habit. Overeating, even healthy foods, can overwhelm the body's ability to regulate sugar. She began using smaller plates and bowls, and took time to eat slowly, savoring each bite. This slowed down her eating pace and helped her recognize feelings of fullness before overeating occurred. For seniors, mindful portion sizes help avoid the common trap of eating just a little more during social meals or holidays. Protein was another focus, including lean protein like chicken, fish, eggs, or plant-based options at every meal helped stabilize blood sugar and kept her feeling full longer. Protein also supports muscle health, which naturally declines with age but is crucial for maintaining insulin sensitivity. She recommends that older adults aim for balanced meals with a mix of protein, fiber-rich carbs, and healthy fats. Healthy fats, found in nuts, seeds, avocados, and olive oil, also help slow digestion and support heart health, which is essential for seniors with diabetes. Hydration ties closely into mindful eating. Drinking water with meals rather than sugary drinks helps digestion and prevents unnecessary calorie intake. The nurse found that limiting added sugars in drinks and foods, such as avoiding sugary coffee creamers or sweetened yogurts, was key to keeping her blood sugar stable. The nurse also highlights the importance of meal timing. Eating at regular intervals, rather than skipping meals or snacking erratically, helps prevent blood sugar highs and lows. For seniors, consistent meal timing supports metabolism and energy levels, reducing the temptation to reach for quick sugary snacks out of fatigue or boredom. Planning meals in advance and keeping healthy snacks like nuts or fresh fruit nearby can support this habit. One challenge many seniors face is dealing with cravings, especially for sweets. The nurse found that satisfying cravings mindfully by allowing a small, well-chosen treat occasionally helped prevent binge eating and feelings of deprivation. For example, a square of dark chocolate or a handful of berries provided sweetness without derailing her progress. This balanced approach made her journey sustainable and realistic. Family meals are a significant part of life, especially in American culture. The nurse encourages involving loved ones in healthy meal planning and preparation. Sharing recipes that everyone enjoys creates a supportive environment where healthy choices become a family habit. This shared effort strengthens bonds and eases the sense of isolation that managing diabetes can sometimes bring. The nurse's story also emphasizes the value of cooking at home. Preparing meals allows better control over ingredients, portion sizes, and sugar content. She found joy in experimenting with new recipes and adapting traditional dishes to be healthier. For seniors who might feel intimidated by cooking, simple meal prep tips and easy-to-follow recipes can empower them to take charge of their nutrition. Importantly, mindful eating is not about perfection or strict dieting. It's about listening to the body's signals, honoring hunger and fullness, and making gradual improvements that fit one's lifestyle and preferences. The nurse reassures older adults that small, consistent changes are more effective and kinder than drastic diets. In conclusion, mindful eating is a powerful habit for seniors managing diabetes. It balances enjoyment of food with thoughtful choices that support blood sugar control and overall health. By focusing on whole foods, portion control, balanced meals, and meal timing, older adults can transform their relationship with food and take meaningful steps toward reversing diabetes. The nurse's experience shows that with patience, kindness, and family support, mindful eating can be a joyful, empowering part of life, nourishing both body and soul well into the golden years. Habit 6. Gentle daily movement. Moving the body without overdoing it. At first glance, exercise may seem like a challenge, especially for people in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s. Joint pain, fatigue, or fear of injury can make movement feel intimidating. But the nurse discovered something powerful in her journey to reverse diabetes. She didn't need intense workouts or hours at the gym. All she needed was gentle, consistent daily movement tailored to her age and body. This simple shift transformed her energy, improved her blood sugar, and gave her back the confidence she thought she had lost. Her journey began with one modest walk around the block. No pressure, no speed. Just a quiet stroll through a neighborhood in Ohio, where she noticed the trees, waved at neighbors, and allowed herself to feel the rhythm of her steps. That single walk grew into a cherished daily routine. 15 minutes in the morning and another short walk after dinner. These walks, gentle and slow, became her personal prescription for healing. Scientific research supports this. Movement, even at a low intensity, activates muscles that help clear sugar from the blood. For older adults, walking after meals is particularly helpful because it lowers the post-meal blood sugar spike, a common problem among those with type 2 diabetes. In fact, studies from the American Diabetes Association show that even a 10-minute walk after eating can lead to noticeable improvements in glucose control. The nurse felt those benefits within weeks. Her energy improved, her blood sugar readings became more stable, and her digestion was smoother. But she didn't stop at walking. She added in gentle stretching each morning, using a simple routine she found online made for older adults. These stretches loosened up her back and shoulders, relieved joint stiffness, and reduced the aches that had once made mornings so hard. She didn't need to touch her toes or twist like a pretzel, just slow, flowing motions like reaching to the sky and rolling her shoulders. Over time, she felt more limber and less afraid of moving. That fear had once held her back, but now she was moving forward, literally and emotionally. Chair exercises became another favorite. On colder days in Ohio, or when her arthritis flared, she stayed indoors and followed gentle routines on her TV or tablet. Seated leg lifts, light hand weights, and simple arm movements gave her the benefits of movement without any risk of falling. These activities were especially helpful when her balance fell off, and they gave her a sense of control over her health, right from her living room. The nurse also recognized the emotional benefits of daily movement. Being active, even in small ways, lifted her spirits, eased her anxiety, and helped her sleep more soundly. Physical activity triggers the release of endorphins, nature's mood boosters, and it gave her a deep sense of accomplishment. It wasn't about burning calories or losing weight. It was about reclaiming her independence one step at a time. Importantly, she reminded others never to compare themselves to younger people or even to how they moved decades ago. The goal isn't to do what others do. It's to find what feels good, what is safe, and what brings joy. For some, it may be gardening, slow dancing in the kitchen, or doing Tai Chi in a community center. Others may prefer water aerobics at the local YMCA, or just standing up and stretching during commercial breaks while watching TV. Every bit of movement counts, and every bit helps. For seniors with mobility challenges, she shared practical tips. Use a walker if needed, focus on seated routines, or even practice ankle circles and hand stretches from bed. The key is to keep the blood flowing, the muscles gently engaged, and the body moving in ways that feel respectful and kind. Even simple habits like standing up every hour, walking to the mailbox, or sweeping the porch can become meaningful parts of a movement routine. One of the most powerful things the nurse did was involve others. She invited her sister and a neighbor to join her for short walks. They kept each other company, shared stories, and made each stroll something to look forward to. This social element, walking and laughing with friends, made it easier to stay consistent and turn movement into a cherished connection rather than a chore. She also set a realistic goal for herself. Move her body in some way for at least 20 to 30 minutes a day, even if it was broken up into short sessions. On days when she didn't feel well or the weather was bad, she didn't beat herself up. She simply stretched gently, did a few chair moves, and gave herself credit for trying. This compassionate mindset helped her stay committed long-term without guilt or pressure. In the U.S., countless seniors are now rediscovering the joy of movement, thanks to programs designed specifically for their needs. Organizations like Silver Sneakers offer classes tailored to different abilities, and many local parks and rec centers have senior-friendly fitness events. The nurse encourages everyone to explore these options, even if it's just to try something new once a week. Her story teaches a gentle truth. Movement is medicine, but only when it's done with care, respect, and consistency. It doesn't need to be fast, hard, or impressive. What matters most is that it's done from the heart for the heart. And when it becomes a habit, even the smallest motion can ripple into big changes. In conclusion, gentle daily movement is one of the most effective tools older adults can use to manage and even reverse diabetes. Whether it's walking around the block, stretching in bed, or dancing in the kitchen, each step is a step toward health, strength, and renewed joy. The nurse's experience shows that it's never too late to start, and every movement matters more than we think. Habit 7. Emotional balance and sleep. Managing stress and resting deeply to support blood sugar. In the quiet stillness of the night, when the world winds down and the body seeks rest, many older adults find themselves wide awake, mind racing, heart unsettled, thoughts circling around fears and memories. For the nurse in this story, those restless nights used to be all too familiar. Long before she learned how to balance her blood sugar naturally, she endured sleepless hours, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, worrying about her future, her family, and her health. But what she didn't realize back then was just how deeply emotional health and quality sleep were connected to her diabetes. One of the most overlooked but powerful habits she discovered was the simple practice of calming her mind and preparing her body for restorative sleep. Research has shown that poor sleep, especially chronic insomnia or fragmented rest, can disrupt hormones that regulate appetite and blood sugar. When the body doesn't rest, cortisol, the stress hormone, stays elevated and insulin sensitivity decreases. For older adults, this becomes even more pronounced. As we age, the body doesn't bounce back from stress the way it once did. That's why sleep and emotional peace are more than just nice to have. They're essential pillars of health, especially for those managing or reversing type 2 diabetes. At the start of her transformation, the nurse made a promise to herself to treat her nighttime routine with the same care as her meals and movement. The first change she made was establishing a wind-down ritual. Each night around 8:30, she would dim the lights in her home, turn off all screens, and make herself a small cup of warm chamomile tea. She called it her evening peace. This tea didn't just soothe her body, it signaled to her brain that it was time to let go of the day. She also began journaling before bed. Just 5 to 10 minutes of putting her thoughts on paper helped clear her mind. She wrote about simple things, what she was grateful for that day, what made her smile, what she hoped for tomorrow. This practice reduced her worry and gave her heart a sense of closure each night. Studies from the National Sleep Foundation suggest that gratitude journaling can improve sleep quality and duration. For the nurse, it became a source of comfort, helping her fall asleep with a softer heart. Breathing exercises became another part of her nightly routine. She followed a method called 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This technique helped calm her nervous system and slowed her heart rate. Even on difficult days, she found she could ease into sleep more easily by simply focusing on her breath. No pills, no special equipment, just breath and intention. Of course, emotional balance doesn't happen overnight. The nurse had lived through her share of stress, raising 3 kids as a single mom, working long hours at the hospital, and facing her own diagnosis later in life. But once she realized how her emotions affected her health, she began exploring small, manageable ways to release the emotional weight she carried. One of her favorite tools was walking in nature. On weekends, she visited a nearby park in Ohio, sat on a bench under an old oak tree, and just listened to the birds. She said it made her feel like the world was still okay. She also found healing in connection. She started attending a local support group for people managing chronic conditions. There, she met others in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, some living with diabetes, some with heart issues, some just needing a safe space to talk. These weekly gatherings were filled with stories, laughter, and shared wisdom. One gentleman in his 70s joked that just laughing together lowered his blood sugar, and research agrees that laughter and social connection reduce stress hormones, boost immunity, and improve mood. Importantly, the nurse also began setting emotional boundaries. She limited exposure to stressful news, politely declined conversations that drained her, and made time each week to do things she enjoyed. Reading novels, calling her grandchildren, planting flowers. These small joys helped refill her emotional tank and reminded her that life, even with challenges, could still be rich and beautiful. Sleep itself became more peaceful as her habits shifted. She stopped napping during the day, reserved her bed for sleep only, no TV or scrolling, and kept her room cool and dark. When she woke up during the night, which still happened from time to time, she no longer panicked. Instead, she practiced her breathing or replayed a peaceful memory in her mind, like her childhood summers on a lake in Michigan. These calming thoughts acted like a lullaby for her nervous system. In addition to her rituals, she kept an open line of communication with her doctor, especially when her sleep was affected by other issues like hot flashes, pain, or medications. Working together, they adjusted what was needed. She always emphasized that medical support and personal effort go hand in hand because the body is complex and no one should have to figure out alone. Over time, the nurse noticed something beautiful. When she rested deeply and felt emotionally at peace, her blood sugar readings improved. Her morning fasting glucose became more stable, her cravings decreased, and she felt more in control of her decisions during the day. She had more energy, more clarity, and a brighter mood, all of which made it easier to stay consistent with her other healthy habits. Her story is a reminder that emotional health is not separate from physical health. It's a key part of it, especially for those in their 60s and beyond. Tending to the heart and honoring the need for rest are not luxuries. They're necessities. The nurse's experience shows that even simple shifts, like breathing deeply, setting boundaries, or drinking tea before bed, can support powerful healing. And perhaps most importantly, she reminds others to be gentle with themselves. There will be hard days, restless nights, and moments of doubt. But healing is not about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself each day with compassion and hope, knowing that every quiet evening and every deep breath brings you closer to balance. So tonight, as the sun sets and the house quiets down, let this be the beginning of your own evening peace. Light a candle, put on soft music, or write one thing you're thankful for. Sleep, after all, is not just rest, it's restoration. And for a body healing from diabetes, it's one of the most loving gifts you can give yourself. There's something deeply powerful about deciding to take control of your health in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s. It's not about trying to turn back the clock or chasing youth. It's about honoring the years you've lived and choosing to make the years ahead stronger and more vibrant. For the nurse in this story, that realization came quietly, not in a dramatic moment, but in small daily choices that added up. And what she discovered was this: reversing diabetes wasn't about perfection. It was about consistency. Not quick fixes, not trendy hacks, but slow, steady, intentional action that honors the body's rhythm and respects its need for time. At first, she admits she wanted results fast. When she started eating better and walking every day, she hoped her blood sugar would improve within a week. But when it didn't, she felt discouraged. That's when her doctor, a kind man in his late 60s, shared something that changed her mindset. He said, "You've been building this pattern in your body for decades. Give it the time and care it deserves to heal." That conversation planted a new seed in her thinking. Healing isn't a race, it's a rhythm. And like any good rhythm, it takes practice, patience, and persistence. So she started tracking not just her glucose readings, but her consistency. How often did she stick to her healthy habits? How did she feel physically and emotionally on the days she stayed true to her routine? What helped her stay motivated on the tough days? These questions became more important than the scale or the glucose meter alone, because she realized that long-term success came from doing the right things regularly, not perfectly. She learned to celebrate progress in new ways. When she resisted a sugary snack at a birthday party, she gave herself credit. When she walked an extra 5 minutes on a rainy day, she smiled proudly. When her fasting glucose dropped just 5 points, she called her sister to share the good news. These little wins, as she called them, were like stepping stones across a river. Each one took her closer to solid ground. Consistency, she discovered, was about creating a rhythm of life she could maintain, not just for a week or month, but for years. That meant creating routines that fit her, not routines that felt like punishment. Her morning walk became a quiet joy, not a chore. Preparing colorful meals felt like an act of love, not restriction. Her nighttime journaling turned into a moment of peace, not just a task on a checklist. She also learned to listen to her body more closely. In her younger years, she often ignored signs of fatigue or stress. But now, in her 60s, she paid attention. If she felt tired, she rested. If she felt strong, she moved. If she felt lonely, she reached out. Her body became her ally, not her enemy. And by respecting its needs, sleep, hydration, movement, peace, she found that consistency came more naturally. Of course, not every day went smoothly. There were holidays with too many desserts, days when the weather kept her inside, moments when old habits crept back in. But she learned to meet those moments with kindness, not shame. She reminded herself that one choice doesn't undo the journey. It's just one step. What mattered was returning to her rhythm the next day, or even the next meal. She called it failing gently, acknowledging the misstep, learning from it, and moving forward with grace. Support made a big difference, too. She didn't try to do it all alone. Her daughter helped her meal prep on Sundays. Her neighbor joined her for morning walks. Her doctor checked in every few months to review her progress. And in her church group, she found other women her age who were also working to manage their health. They encouraged each other, shared recipes, swapped stories, and reminded one another that this journey was worth it. She even began mentoring others who were newly diagnosed. She'd sit with them over coffee and gently share her story, her early struggles, her doubts, her small victories. One woman in her 70s told her, "You're the reason I started walking again." Another man, a retired bus driver, said, "I didn't think I could change at this age, but seeing you gave me hope." These conversations reminded the nurse that her consistency wasn't just changing her life, it was inspiring others to believe in their own. There's also a kind of wisdom that comes with age, a perspective that younger people often overlook. The nurse used that wisdom to stay grounded. She didn't get caught up in fads or panic over every news headline. Instead, she stayed true to what she knew worked: real food, daily movement, emotional peace, deep sleep, and meaningful connection. She trusted the process. And over time, her blood sugar improved steadily. Her A1C dropped. Her energy increased. Her doctor even reduced her medications. But more than that, she felt good in her body again for the first time in years. One of her favorite sayings became, "A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence." And she lived that truth every day. No matter her age, no matter the setbacks, she showed up for herself with quiet strength. She knew that change at 60, 70, or 80 wasn't just possible, it was powerful. Because when you change your habits in later life, you're not just adding years, you're adding life to your years. So for anyone who's reading this and wondering if it's too late, let her story be a warm hand on your shoulder. It's never too late. Whether you're 63 or 83, you can begin again. You can choose one habit today, and then again tomorrow, and again the next day. That's the rhythm that leads to transformation. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, about showing up little by little with love and commitment. Because the real power of reversing diabetes doesn't come from dramatic gestures. It comes from quiet, consistent choices made with care, day after day, year after year. And that is a journey truly worth taking. For those standing at the edge of decision, wondering if today is the right time to begin again, let this be the moment. Because no matter your age, your past, or your current diagnosis, you hold more power than you may realize. The journey to better health after 60 doesn't begin with a grand leap. It begins with one small, gentle step. And that step, if taken with intention and heart, can quietly shift the course of everything. The nurse who reversed her diabetes didn't start with a perfect plan. She didn't overhaul her whole life overnight. She started with a glass of water. That's it. One evening, after years of feeling tired, stiff, and worried, she heard someone say, "Just drink a glass of water before bed. Start there." And so she did. That simple act gave her a sense of control again, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, she could still influence her health even in her 60s. That's the message here today. You don't have to wait until Monday, or after the holidays, or until the next doctor's visit. You could begin right now, not with a strict diet, not with punishing workouts, but with one act of care. Perhaps it's taking a 10-minute walk after dinner, or writing down 3 things you're grateful for tonight, or choosing water instead of soda, or calling your daughter and telling her you're ready to take your health seriously again. Whatever it is, let it be small, loving, and sustainable. Many older adults believe they've missed the window, that their body is too far gone, or that change is meant only for the young. But the science tells a different story. Studies show that people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s can significantly improve blood sugar, reduce medication, and regain energy through consistent lifestyle shifts. Muscles can be rebuilt, Insulin sensitivity can return. Sleep can deepen. Mood can lift. These aren't theories. They're real outcomes seen in real people across the United States every single day. There's the story of George from Wisconsin, who at 72 began walking his dog twice a day and switched from white bread to whole grains. Over the course of a year, he lost 22 pounds and lowered his A1C from 8.2 to 6.4. Or Marlene in California, 67 years old, who began batch cooking her meals on Sundays and started attending a weekly gentle yoga class. After 6 months, her energy had doubled, and she no longer needed insulin at night. These aren't extreme cases. They're everyday examples of what's possible when someone chooses not to give up. More importantly, these changes don't just affect the person, they ripple out. When older adults take steps to heal, they often become role models for their families. Grandchildren see them making smoothies instead of skipping breakfast. Neighbors ask about their new walking routine. Sons and daughters feel inspired to check their own health. One person's decision becomes a quiet revolution of hope and healing in the home. Still, there'll be days when motivation feels low. That's when it helps to return to purpose. Why do you want to feel better? Maybe it's to dance at your granddaughter's wedding, or to garden again without pain, or to wake up without foggy fatigue, or simply to feel proud of the way you're taking care of yourself. Whatever your reason, write it down. Keep it near. Let it become your compass when the path feels uncertain. It's also wise to simplify your goals. Instead of saying, I need to reverse my diabetes, try, I will add one healthy habit today, then do it again tomorrow. And the next day, before long, that single habit becomes part of who you are. One habit becomes two becomes five. And the nurse who started with a glass of water, she now walks daily, eats whole foods, checks her glucose without fear, sleeps soundly, and smiles when she sees herself in the mirror. Not because she looks younger, but because she feels alive again. To those who have struggled for years, who feel defeated by failed diets or medications that didn't work, please hear this. You are not broken. Your body is not your enemy. It is waiting patiently for you to care again. And when you do, even in the smallest way, it will respond. Sometimes slowly, sometimes subtly, but always with gratitude. And don't go it alone. Share your goal with someone you trust. Maybe it's your spouse, a friend, or even a nurse at your local clinic. Invite them into your journey. Ask for encouragement. Let others witness your effort, and let their belief in you strengthen your own. As the nurse often says now, healing is personal, but it's not meant to be lonely. So today, let this be your beginning. Fill a glass of water. Step outside for a walk. Make a grocery list with more colors on it. Turn off the screen 30 minutes earlier tonight. Smile at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm still here and I still matter. Because you do. And finally, remember this. Getting older is not a sentence. It's a season. And just like any season, it holds its own beauty, strength, and wisdom. You have earned the right to live well, not just exist. And the way to that life isn't through force. It's through kindness. Be kind to your body. Be patient with your pace. Be proud of every step. You've seen what's possible when someone in her 60s took her health into her own hands. You've learned the habits. You've felt the emotion. Now it's your turn to take one small step. And let that step be the start of something extraordinary. Because age does not limit your potential. Only belief does. And today, you've been reminded that you are still capable of beautiful change. You're never too old to start. You're always young enough to care. Thank you, truly, for spending your time with us today. If you've listened all the way through, that means you care deeply about your health or someone you love. And that's something worth honoring. Your presence here means more than you know. If this message touched you, gave you hope, or simply reminded you that it's never too late to take care of yourself, please consider doing 3 simple things to support this growing community. First, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another story that could change your life. Second, give this video a like. It helps more people like you find encouragement and practical guidance. And finally, we'd love to hear from you. Scroll down and leave a comment. Share your thoughts, your journey, or maybe just one small step you're planning to take today. Your words might be the very thing someone else needs to hear. This channel is more than information. It's a circle of care, of inspiration, of people like you choosing to live better, one gentle choice at a time. From our hearts to yours, thank you again. And until next time, take care, stay hopeful, and remember, your best days are still ahead.